Well, hello there and welcome back. I hope you had a great break. We're going to be working right away on page number 6. So let's find page number 6. And at the very top of that, I want you to write movement and speech. So I'm going to do that right now. We won't be making a frame on this page. So speech and movement. There we go. Okay, so you're just going to have this at the top, speech and movement. And then I'm going to take a pencil, let's see if I can find my pencil, and I'm going to draw a horizontal line right across the middle, just lightly. It's really just a guide about how large we want to work in each of these two spaces. Okay, so one of the things that impacts our brain the most is when we are doing more than one thing at a time. So that's why we're going to use speech and movement. By moving our pen and making a drawing while we're thinking about something, this is all metacognitive work. We're thinking about our thinking. We're working with our thinking, whatever that is, in that same moment of time. So we want to think about where these feelings live in our body. Where do they live? So we're going to draw a simple little stick figure in the top half, right up here. And I'll draw it and hopefully you'll be able to see it. See what I'm doing? It's just very simple. You can make it more elaborate if you want to, but really, mine's kind of running. You can do it however you like. And you can put a little face on it or not. It's up to you. You can do whatever you want. So this is what I've done. You can see, totally simple, just a stick figure. So now I want you to think, we want to find out where things live in our body. Where do these feelings live in our body? So think about something kind of negative or scary, and maybe you had something happen during the break that upset you. Think about that. Where do you feel that? If something happens that frightens me, where do I feel that? For me, it can be in several places, but a lot of times it'll be right here, the base of my throat, in my throat chakra. And it'll feel like my throat is constricting and I can't speak. And sometimes it really literally does that to us. And we can't speak because of the fear. We're afraid of the consequences of what would happen. So for others of you, it may be in your heart, it may be down in your solar plexus. For me, it can be anywhere of those three, and sometimes it's all three at the same time. So take a second and think about that. Find a spot where your fear, your unhappiness, your negative feelings live. Where is that on your body? And we'll just give you a minute to do that. Okay, and now I want you to mark that on the stick figure with an X. So I'm going to put an X on my stick figure's throat. I don't know if you can see that. I think so. And if it happens in more than one place, you can put more than one X too. So I might conceivably put another X down on my solar plexus, like so. Now, take a deep breath Let yourself become a scarecrow and just relax. And let all of that negative feeling go. Another deep breath. Another relax. And another deep breath. And just relax and let all that negativity drain out of you. And then just breathe normal. Now, what is beautiful or peaceful in your life? Where does joy live in your body? Where does peace live in your body? Think of some of those things and then focus on where does that feeling live in your body? Where do you feel that? And again, it'll be different for everyone. For me, I feel the most peaceful or joyful place is kind of right here. It's not in my heart. It's on the other side of my heart. A long time ago, I was in an automobile accident and I broke some ribs, which they never discovered, but which were painful until they healed. And it's almost as though I have made peace, my body has made peace with that injury in there because there's a divot in my chest. But where is peace in your body? Where is it located? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a red marker or whatever color you have, and I'm going to put a heart in that spot. And I think I'll color it in. So now my little figure has X's and a heart. And maybe you feel happiness or peace in more than one location. It can vary from time to time depending on a lot of different things. So take a minute and just finish that up, and then we're going to do some movement with this. So if you're feeling that negative thing, you put your hands on the spot where you feel it, just your fingertips, and you start to tap gently. If you're really, really upset, you might be going like this. And breathing and saying, I release this feeling. I can do this. I release this feeling. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I release this feeling. I can do this. I can do it. I can do this. And gradually you'll find you're tapping more and more slowly, not as hard, more gently, and you will begin to release that feeling that had you so upset. It's very effective. It's very effective. And then after that, go to the area where there's peace. And you can tap on that lightly and gently. And say your mantra again. I release this feeling. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And just live. You can stop the tapping whenever you feel you're ready. And just rest. Just rest and breathe in that space of peace, wherever it is living in your body in that moment. It's very effective. It really is. It seems like nothing, but it's very effective. So take a minute, and in some of the empty spaces up here, write down some directions and a little mantra. What I've been saying is, I release this, I can release this, I can do this. I can do this. But you can use whatever variation you want of it. So I'm going to give you a minute to do that, and then we'll move on to the bottom of our page. And once again, if you need more time, please feel free to just pause the video. I promise I won't go away. I'll be here. Okay. Now at the very bottom of our page, right below our dividing line, I want you to write joy moves. Or actually, let's call it pleasure moves. Pleasure moves. And I'm just writing it with my permanent marker. So you can see nothing difficult or hard or involved. And then I want each one of you to stand up where you are. Stand up. I can't, because if I stand up you won't be able to see me. But stand up where you are, and I'm going to do this from my seat. I want you to think with me, visualize with me. All around us is the energy of pleasure. And pleasure is a healing energy. Healing. And it's pleasure that doesn't happen at somebody else's expense. That's not true pleasure. Can be anything from beautiful leaves in a tree, the way the sun's coming through the branches and leaving a pattern of shadows on the wall, all kinds of things. So just envision yourself surrounded by pleasure, all kinds of pleasure, and just stretch a little bit. Oh yes, you're reaching out and you're bringing back that pleasure. You're blessing your whole body, clear down to your toes, clear down your back, all your arms, and you're creating moves that feel like pleasure and even look like pleasure. What does it look like, pleasure? Oh, you're opening to the healing of bringing the energy of pleasure into your body. Simple things. Maybe the scent of a rose, and I'm sending it out to you. The way a tree moves as the wind is blowing it. Someone who's dancing and you're watching as they're moving their bodies to the music and the rhythm. All kinds of pleasure. So every time you feel like you're going to fall into that black hole again, you can move into a dance of pleasure and visualize all that energy coming to rest and heal your body. So take a minute and write about that. What does pleasure look like? How does pleasure move? Remind yourself that I am surrounded by the energy of pleasure. Always. All I have to do is reach out and pull it in for me. Pleasure is healing. And it's free. It's not something that ever hurts anyone else. It's only something that's healing for you. How can I move in pleasure? Okay, and take another minute or two to finish that, and then we'll move on to our next work, which is really exciting and fun. And once again, take all the time you need. Do pause the video if you need to do that. So now we're going to be working on page 7. And once again, I'm going to take a pencil and lightly draw a line through the middle. And at the top of my page, I'm going to write negative. And at the bottom of my page, I'm going to write positive. So it's just like this. Negative, positive at the bottom with a little line through the center. And you'll need your permanent marker for this. Okay. I'm getting quite a collection of markers over here. Okay. Now we're going to draw faces. Yes, you can. It's a funky face. It's a cartoon kind of face. And we're giving ourselves a restriction, so no matter how much talent you have, everybody's faces are kind of going to look alike. We're drawing and we're putting the pen down on the paper, but we're not picking it up. We're making one line. Just one line makes the whole entire face, so that means you have to go back and forth across places where there aren't supposed to be any lines and still do that work. And remember, we're taking all of this emotional energy that is in our heart, our throat, wherever it is. It's coming down our arms, out our hands, right out through the pen. We're allowing the pen to be in charge, okay? So it gets to go wherever it wants according to whatever the energy is telling it. So this first top face is a negative one. And I'll go ahead and start mine so that you have some idea what I'm really talking about. Okay. So I'm drawing and I can't pick the pen up, so I have to go out around and come back down and keep going until I'm all done. And that's what my face looks like. So you go ahead and you have a go at it. See what your face looks like. So that's what I felt like with negative energy. And that's our first face, and then when we get done with that one on the bottom, we're going to go ahead and make another face, and it's positive energy. How would the face look if whatever was going on up here was suddenly solved, taken away, done with? How would that look? What kind of face would that create? So it's a positive face. I'm going to go ahead and do that. You take as long as you need with your face. So this is a face of a being who has had that solution come and knows how to fix the problem or solve it. And for me, that person has kind of a happy look, because I'd be happy if the solution were available to me. And in my case, I'm writing right over the positive and negative, but that's fine. There is no right way. We're not doing these for art school projects. These are to help our brain see how things can look differently. Okay. And again, as much as you can, just do it with one line. Don't pick up your pen. Keep it as one line. So take a minute or pause the video, whichever you need to do, and finish your two faces. Okay? And let's see. And then moving on to page 8, when you're ready, I'm going to use a marker and I'm going to make another kind of funky border here, like the ones we've been doing. Just have fun with it. And we'll be ready to move on to page 8.